Welcome, beautiful, to the Creating Change podcast with Emma Bradford. Creating change to fall back in love with ourselves and life. Each episode, I'll be offering insightful stories, concepts, and practical takeaways to inspire your day, reconnecting to the authentic essence within. Are you ready, lovely, to embrace yourself even more and awaken to the magic life has to offer? Let's dive into today's episode. Hello and welcome to another episode of Creating Change with Emma Bradford. Thank you for being here, for choosing to listen today and being here with me for exploring another topic of creating change, like how we can transform our perspective on things, how we can transform our experience of things in life and see things differently, learn useful practical tools and techniques to really navigate all the ups and downs that life can bring and how we can fall back in love with ourselves and life again. So thank you so much for being here. And a massive thank you to everyone who is sharing these episodes. It really makes such a difference. So if you have any loved ones that could perhaps benefit from the topics that I share on this podcast, please do send the episode to them, send the link. Not only are you helping to spread the love and offer them a helping hand, you're also helping so much in terms of this podcast becoming more visible for other people. So that's a massive, massive help. And thank you so much for that. So in this little bite-sized episode, I want to talk about looking back and seeing the full cycle in life. Often in life, there are many twists and turns. It's not this straightforward line from when you're born and then going forward towards your goals and your dreams. Often there are many bumps and obstacles along the way and twists and turns, and the pathway may go one way and then it turns around and it goes another way and then something else happens. It's this journey, this exploration and this evolution on that journey to wherever it is that you want to go. And ultimately, that ultimate destination is simply back to your own heart, back to the core of who you truly are, remembering who you truly are underneath it all, underneath all the desires and wants from the ego. It's not to say that those desires and wants are not good or valid. Absolutely, we're in this human experience to experience everything. Though much of everything that we experience in life is all about coming back to the human heart and remembering the core of who we are within. Now, I want to talk about how often in certain moments when these obstacles arise, we may think, oh, I went down that road for nothing, or I tried that out and it didn't work. Maybe there are certain experiences that come up and we feel like a failure, that it didn't turn out how we expected it to. And that's the thing, it's a lot about the expectations. There are expectations that we place on things, and life always brings up unexpected things. That's part of life. Life is change. So as we continue on the journey and we turn around and we look back, often we realize that there are these full circle moments. And what I mean by that are full circle moments, that we realize much of what we experienced previously, and even the so-called failures, and failures really are just redirections. They're not failures in the negative sense. It's simply just a redirection, helping you to redirect yourself onto the path that you're actually meant to be on. So looking back, we can often notice that many of those so-called failures were actually one of the best things ever and have actually helped us to achieve whatever we have managed to achieve until now, or where we want to go to. So if you look back in your life and notice, okay, all those things that I experienced and all those different twists and turns and obstacles and difficulties, how did that shape who I am today? Like, what gift did I get out of those experiences? What gift was I able to connect to? These are questions that we can ask ourselves. So, for example, I went to university, I studied textile design, I learned a lot about Photoshop and how to use Photoshop and editing images and designing on Photoshop. And even though I'm not in the field of textile design right now, I'm doing something else. I'm coaching and I'm teaching. A lot of those skills that I learned at university have been so useful in what I do today. So all the skills I learned in Photoshop have become really useful in creating and formatting all of the flyers and the editing of photos and formatting text. It's all been really useful. So looking back, there are all these routes that I went down. I went down the route of learning Photoshop. I went down the route of learning different therapeutic practices. I went down the route of learning all these different things. And often the mind can be focused on, oh, I'm going down this route in order to practice this in a certain way, though we don't realize that we're actually going to use it in another way. And it's still part of the process. It's still part of the journey. It's still a very valid part of the whole experience. And we can have these full circle moments where we go back to a place that previously we once were, or we once lived in, or revisit a particular modality or practice. I had one recently where I went to go and visit one of my students who now is becoming an NLP trainer. And she's gone on this wonderful journey all these years. And I went back to visit her and visit my teacher. And that was a wonderful full circle moment to see her there reminded me of when I was there 5 years ago and at the time of recording this. And also seeing how far I've come since then as well, and how my life has twisted and turned and taken a whole new direction since then. Though everything that I learnt in that moment of doing the training originally has become a wonderful foundation for the work that I do today. Essentially, what the message is of this podcast episode is that there are no failures. Everything is a redirection, and everything forms part of who you are and what you can do and what you're offering today. Everything is part of the whole experience, the full experience. There are insights, there are things that we can learn from every single experience. It's all about whether we're paying attention to that and opening up our awareness to notice that. So take a moment to reflect back and look at where you are right now. Even if where you are is not where you want to be in the future, just take a moment to accept and acknowledge how far you have come and everything that you've learned, and how all those past experiences have given you gifts, have given you opportunities. Even the challenging experiences, there are gifts and opportunities in everything. And a lot of those gifts and opportunities have been wonderful stepping stones in getting to where you are today. So this is more of a reflective episode, and this is something that you could journal if you want to make it practical. Get your journal or get a piece of pen and paper and ask yourself these questions. Ask yourself these questions that I've been mentioning in this episode, and just reflect on, okay, what has helped me get to where I am today, and what have I learned from all of those big key experiences? Maybe there are certain experiences that jump out at you, and what was the gift there, and how did that help you to get to where you are today? And if you've been on a rocky ride, if you've had lots of challenges, take a moment to acknowledge that you are still standing, you're still here, you're still living, breathing, alive, and you got through that. You've got through 100% of your challenges. Even if it feels that you may still be recovering from some of those, you're still here, you're still standing, and that's a wonderful achievement right there. I'll leave it there, sending you so much love and many wishes, helping you to recognize how amazing, how wonderful you are. Wishing you a wonderful week. Thank you so much for listening to this episode, beautiful. You're amazing. All resources and links can be found on my website, www.emmabradford.net. Link is in the show description. Do come and join my community and share your takeaways from this episode. I'd really love to hear. And don't forget to subscribe so you don't miss any future episodes. Until next time, I wonder, what magic will you experience in life today?